I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
That's one of the kings of the horror genre, actor Vincent Price, in 1959's House on Haunted Hill, playing eccentric millionaire Frederick Lauren in what many critics consider to be his most iconic role. They say art imitates life, but life can also imitate art. And that was certainly the case for Mr. Price, who, after becoming a noted gourmand and author of several best-selling cookbooks, set out to create a revolutionary new television program only to have it shelved after a series of tragic and incomprehensible deaths during production. Hello, good listeners, and welcome to Deadliest Meal. I'm author, documentarian, and film historian Denise Didak, and you're listening to a new podcast about the most cursed TV show ever produced, a cooking program that was so blighted, bedeviled, and deadly that the studio behind the project tried to bury it forever. And for 60 years, they succeeded. Until my father, Didier Didak, longtime legal servant of XBS Studios, a division of the XBS Corporation, revealed to me the location of a hidden storage locker containing the lost masters of A Taste of Vincent on his deathbed. Billed as equal parts travelogue and nouvelle cuisine cooking show, this series was supposed to blend conversation, culture, and good eats into an easily digestible 30-minute format. By preparing the recipes of famous cuisines from around the world with the help of local guests of honor, Vincent aimed to expand the intellectual and gastronomic palates of an American television audience in one fell swoop. Little did he know that these efforts would culminate in a spate of surreal tragedies that mirror many of the macabre movies that made Mr. Price famous. For the past 10 years, I've been documenting what happened to Vincent Price in the summer of 1964. And over the course of this podcast, the world will finally come to know the real story of the Prince of Terror as I give new context to one of America's long-lost cultural treasures over the course of 6 episodes. Act, cook, lecture on art, the king of horror could do it all. He was an American Renaissance man on par with Benjamin Franklin. But unlike the, quote, first American, Mr. Price isn't a household name. At this point, he's really more like an answer to a trivia question or a crossword puzzle. That's because the tragic events that befell him in the summer of 1964 sucked him into a downward spiral that pigeonholed his career and soul. In our first chapter, No Spain Without Pain, we travel to the Iberian peninsula where the Prince of Terror planned to show the masses how to make paella at the Monasterio de San Juan de los Reyes. What could possibly go wrong at Spain's most evil and cursed monastery? As it turns out, plenty.
Plaza Mayor, Madrid. Take 1, 3, 2, and action!
Good food is where you find it. Hello, I'm Vincent Price. You may know me from such films as House of Wax, Theater of Blood, and The Pit and the Pendulum. What you may not know is that I'm also a noted gourmand, chef, and author of several cookbooks, including A Treasury of Great Recipes, famous specialties of the world adapted for the American kitchen. Today I mean to shake up your family's boring old taste buds with a recipe gleaned from the first port of call of our culinary odyssey, La Piel de Toro, Spain, the country that Ernest Hemingway famously loved more than any other but his own. For the next half hour, we'll explore the historic and gastronomic culture that captivated one of America's greatest writers. May he rest in peace. This bustling town square is the Plaza Mayor, a major public space in the heart of Madrid that dates back to the 15th century.
Easy on the ancient history, Vincent. Plaza Mayor, take 2, and action.
Good food is where you find it. Hello, I'm Vincent Price.
We got that, Vincent.
You sure we don't want another take? Even Corman gets 2 takes.
Our permit is only for an hour, and we still have to hit the food market.
Is that all you were able to squeeze out of the Generalismo?
It's our first season.
Well, if you're happy, I'm happy. So where are we taking it from, Carl?
We're taking it from today. Guillermo, that's the wrong cue.
Today, the Plaza Mayor is the location.
Bingo! Ready, Vincent?
Since birth.
Plaza Mayor, take 3, action!
Today, the Plaza Mayor is the location of the annual Christmas market, but it has also hosted bullfights, soccer games, and public executions.
Again, except sans the executions.
Sans the executions?
Executions aren't very appetizing now, are they?
We cannot visit Spain and talk about Hemingway, but not the Spanish Revolution. 500,000 people died. It was the dress rehearsal for the Second World War.
What did I just say about history?
I didn't agree to do your show to sanitize the past, Mr. Rothmanson. I'm doing the show because I want to make history and culture come alive. Most Americans are unaware that Spain is currently ruled by a military dictatorship. They've never heard of the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. They don't know that hundreds of Americans fought and died on Spanish soil to try to stop the creeping spread of fascism when their Congress and president would do nothing. You said we can skip it, but I see this as an important cultural context.
General Franco executed Republicans by the thousands. Es un fascista de mierda.
Guillermo, keep your voice down. The streets have ears. From the top.
You still want the Christmas bit?
If you don't want to read the lines, I will find someone who will.
I'll read your lines, Rothmanson. God knows I've read worse. But drivel is drivel.
Forget it. We'll shoot some B-roll and dub it in post.
And we're rolling.
Plaza del Cayo, take 1.
Built in 1933, this marble and granite Art Deco building marks an edge of Caleo Square, one of the busiest plazas in Madrid. The Plaza de Caleo is home to an enormous old movie theater called the Capital. Coincidentally, that's where I attended the Spanish premiere of my movie The Fly, or El Mosco, as it is known here. It was a lovely affair. Was it okay that I threw that in, or too editorial?
You're a movie star. People expect premiere stories, not ancient history.
Ancient history is as misused as an electric blender, Mr. Rothmanson. My point is that it's 1964. We're only 25 years past the Spanish Civil War, and the man who won that war, General Franco, remains very much in power here today. So I'd say history is very much alive.
Spain was not the only nation to stay out of the Second World War. Sweden and Switzerland did too, as did my home country, the Netherlands.
I'm well aware of that, Carl, and I still can't for the life of me understand how any nation could remain neutral in the light of the Nazis' war crimes. If not for America's greatest president, FDR, we might today be hearing German spoken in the markets of Madrid.
And the United States won, and winners write history.
Like Franco.
You Americans are all cowboys. Are we still rolling, Glenn?
You said to always stay rolling, even if you say cut. Remember, Mr. Carl?
It's Mr. Rotminson.
Carl, the beauty of Spanish culture is inseparable from its context, especially if that context is painful. Until very recently, gangs of young hoods roamed the streets brandishing pistols and machine guns in broad daylight. No one was spared by Franco's goons.
And they may roam the streets still, Mr. Price. Furthermore, the left was guilty of war crimes too.
The nationalists have far more blood on their hands. Or have you not heard of the Badajoz massacre?
If you can't control your outbursts, Guillermo, I'll find somebody else that can hold the idiot cards.
Come polla.
That's a new one.
What are you saying, Mr. Price?
Loosely translated, eat a dick.
And now he's walking off set.
Guillermo's parents were killed in sectarian violence at Badajoz. Let him cool off.
I have a meeting about the permits for the cooking demo at the monastery. You'll have to shoot the rest of today without me, I'm afraid. And the bullfighting is out.
I never fancied the bullfighting anyway. That was more Don Ernesto.
And you're a pole man.
One may enjoy the moon on the blackest night and also revel in the blaze of a midday sun. Papa's connection to Spain fascinates me. She was the setting for all of his major works from each decade of his career. He even produced the Civil War documentary, The Spanish Earth. A hell of a picture. I did what I could to try to get the studios to finance it, but to no end.
Please, Mr. Price, I have to go. I'll see you at the hotel.
We're rolling.
Monasterio de San Juan de los Reyes. Take one.
A short train ride from Madrid takes us to the jewel of central Spain, Toledo, which has a long and rich history of over 2,000 years. On any normal day, the streets would be teeming with activity, but today is no ordinary day. Today is Martes 13, or Tuesday the 13th, which is the equivalent of Friday the 13th in the United States. So naturally, there was no better time than the present for our producer to arrange a visit to Spain's most evil and cursed monastery, the Monasterio de San Juan de los Reyes, where we'll be paella panning with one of the world's great surrealist painters, Salvador Dali. Here comes Mr. Dali now. Good to see you here on time. I suppose one of your clocks still works.
Time is relative. Einstein says so, and who are we to argue? We are but flecks of dirt on an orb of iron and ice spinning endlessly in the universe. And what's this I hear about your work with Sears, Vincent? You are selling art door to door to go with their ironing boards and washing machines? It must be art.
It's quite true. The great American catalog company and department store has enlisted my services in renovating its image of frontier austerity. They've hired spokespeople of note to freshen up all their departments. Ted Williams is heading up sports.
Ted who?
Teddy Ballgame, the kid, the thumper. I know you're not much for sports, but this guy is the Picasso of baseball.
Picasso. I didn't think you'd be a fan of that sensualist. I trust they're compensating you handsomely.
It's not about the money, Salvador. This is about spreading culture, which is also the goal of this show as well. You should paint something from my collection. It could be literally anything. A watercolor, an etching. Just think about it. A Dali in a middle-class American home. What could be more surreal?
Welcome, Mr. Dali. My name is Carl Rotmanson. I'm the show's executive producer. Until today, I've never thought I'd ever meet anyone with a dandier mustachio than Mr. Vincent Price. Thank you for coming all this way. Glenn, are we still rolling?
She's rolling.
Eddie?
Still speeding.
Please continue, Vincent.
This imposing 15th century Franciscan monastery and church was provocatively founded in the heart of the Jewish quarter by the Catholic monarchs Isabel and Fernando to demonstrate the supremacy of their faith. Today we'll be cooking in the monastery's manicured grounds, where our crew has assembled a beautiful outdoor kitchen for a cozy little garden party.
It's a set fit for Julia Child.
But of course, the story told at night around Spanish campfires tells of an evil curse made long ago when the Grand Master of the Knights Templar was refused entry by a cruel monk. Anyone who comes in through its gates shall not be able to pass through them alive, or if you believe in the ghost stories, otherwise.
Finishing the reel.
And cut!
Get away from me, man.
What's wrong, Guillermo?
Carl just whispered in my ear, Viene una bala. A bullet is coming.
Impossible. I don't even speak Spanish. I said your cue is coming.
You must have misheard, Guillermo. Mr. Rothmanson is a member of the Producers Guild. He comes very highly recommended.
I am sorry, Mr. Price. This is all very personal.
No need to apologize. Production is stressful.
Monasterio San Juan de los Reyes. Paella demo. Take two.
Paella is the ultimate one-pot Spanish comfort food that will be ready for your family to devour in an hour. The Valencian delicacy is traditionally made with a mixture of rice, meat, seafood, beans, vegetables, and other aromatic ingredients that will have your family drooling in anticipation. Because paella is so versatile, almost every chef has their own recipe. Today we're using chicken breasts, but if you're a seafood lover and crave the taste of the sea like me, throw in some shrimp. Of course, the major ingredient in every paella is rice.
Rice is the soul of the dish, and starch is the soul of rice. Do not rinse away its soul.
Any Spanish or short-grained rice will work. But what do you prefer to use, Salvador?
Everything I am, I owe to my grandmother, and the paella is no different. Spanish rice or bomba rice is the most common rice used by the Spanish. However, the French use French fries.
To keep the paella from drying out, Salvador is adding chicken stock.
The secret behind the magic of Alicante-style seafood rices is having the sofrito done before you start the paella. A sofrito that you turn into a paste will also turn into you. How's that for serious, Vincent?
That is wonderful, Salvador. A sofrito, of course, is a sauce that is commonly used as a base in Spanish cooking. You may use that or make the marinade. After you add the saffron, bay leaf, parsley, and lemon zest to the mix, throw in the rice and let the whole concoction simmer for 20 minutes. As we wait, Salvador will explain the Spanish reticence to do anything on a Tuesday, particularly one numbered the 13th, like we are having today.
It's an ancient superstition left over from the Romans and their gods.
But there is also the curse on this monastery that we are contending with too. It's a miracle we don't keel over and die immediately.
True. What god curses remains cursed.
Are you familiar with the history of this monastery?
I am familiar with the recent history of its use as a prison for political dissidents and in time an execution ground.
There are also reports of its use as a storage area for Nazi.
Guillermo!
Let him finish, Carl. What were you saying, Mimo?
My cable's on the fritz. I'm sorry, but we need to cut.
Very well, Eddie. Take 5, everyone.
Where's Guillermo gone? He was in the middle of telling me something.
He's probably using the lavatory or having a smoke.
Or probably having a smoke in the lavatory. The monks are known to do that.
You should know that, Carl. You were just deep in conversation with one.
You said this guy was a professional. This never would have happened if I hired my own crew.
Be that as it may, Carl, can you help me with the cue cards? My gift for memorization is not what it used to be.
That's below my pay grade. Glenn will pick up the slack.
I got you, Mr. Price.
Thanks, Glenn.
Monasterio de San Juan de Reyes. Paella demo. Take 3.
The paella is coming along very nicely. The scent is heavenly, isn't it, Salvador?
It's finer than the finest French perfume.
After you've given your paella one final taste, serve liberally and enjoy. Maybe with a Tempranillo or a Rioja.
And cut.
Did I hear gunfire?
Probably just some falling rocks from the castle walls.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. This may be the last message I ever give you, so listen closely. And welcome to my diary. Hello world, 'tis Vincent Price, commencing my recording on this grammar dictaphone that my daughter Vicky got me for Christmas. Isn't it marvelous? I feel like one of those spies who populate the movie houses and TV shows these days. I have long made written diaries documenting my previous travels, and now get to do so auditorily, thanks to science and a very intrepid 8-year-old. Because of my position with the Sears Fine Art Collection and my reputation as a lover of fine food, I have been chosen to host the new international travel show, A Taste of Vincent. I do hope that's a working title, but I could not turn down this chance to put my spin on some of the world's greatest gastronomic delights with the help of some of my oldest friends and an engaging young producer. Our first stop was Spain and my good friend Salvador Dali. Actually, I've never met the man, and although his talent is undeniable, his taste leaves something to be desired. It was fun to work with his legendary personality and cook some Spanish cuisine, but tomorrow I look forward to seeing some of the great works of art at the galleries. I am a bit hesitant to visit all these Piazza de Arte with our new producer. Mr. Rothmanson comes across as someone who is intellectual about art without being emotional about it, and I never trust those people. Still, the show is able to access all these countries because of him, and although he seems withdrawn at times like he is thinking about something very serious, I'm sure we can coax him out of his shell. That said, I did notice that Carl was gone a good while we were filming. That is not the mark of a good producer, but he was not the only one playing hooky. Guillermo, who held the cue cards for Salvador and I, left during a break and never came back. This was especially unfortunate since the young man seemed to be in possession of some local intelligence about the monastery. No one knows where Mimo got to, although we did hear a scream in the haunted monastery. But I won't entertain those notions. I'm sure Guillermo will turn up, hopefully before we move on to France. Or Carl will have to find another cue carder. I'm sure Taste of Vincent, or whatever the show is ultimately called, will be a smash, and that the crew and I will go on to have mini adventures together.
What we just heard was a bonus track of the actual thoughts and feelings of the great Mr. Price as he describes his experiences in Spain. We have had this audio, which was presented in chronological order for some time, but only in the proper context does it add meaningful details to our discourse. Why a podcast, you ask? The XBS tapes entrusted to me by my father had been stored in a subterranean repository in Panorama City. While the audio of the footage was usable, the visual component was damaged beyond repair. My father thought he was giving me the means to jumpstart my documentary career. In fact, he was dooming me to an industry that is somehow both less profitable and more esoteric than filmmaking: podcasting. An emerging new platform that is so remunerative that I had to resort to lecturing at the local city college and housebreaking feral cats to make ends meet. But I digress. In the work, we find many themes, including references to the political and cultural realities of the time, as well as a foreshadowing of the curses that plagued the show. We are also exposed to our first tragedy with the disappearance of the fiery Catalonian cue card holder, Guillermo. As for the irrepressible Salvador Dali, the Spanish enigma would go on the record stating that his greatest work of art was his personality, and we can see it here. In the end, the famous surrealist did make a painting for the Sears collection, and it is thought that this show may have been the impetus. In fact, of the over 75,000 works that were commissioned by Mr. Price for the much ballyhooed American department store, Dali's mystical Rose Madonna sold for a record $25,000, making it the highest single-ticket item ever sold by the chain. Please let us know what you think of this episode by submitting your comments and questions, care of your local public radio station. I'm Denise Didak. Thank you, and good night.
Deadliest Meal was created and written by Rory Owen Delaney and Matt Babb. Directed by Rory Owen Delaney and Matt Babb. Editing by Rory Owen Delaney.
Produced by Rory Owen Delaney and Matt Babb.
Sound design, sound mix, and music by Apostolos Papapostoiou. Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor performed by Stephen Malinowski.
With performances by Wendy Weiner, Matt Babb, Mike Casatini, Danny Alacar, Byron Matos, Craig Jablin, and Rory Owen Delaney.
This podcast is a production of Man Bites Dog Films, LLC.